You may start your games. Good luck.
Maxime, you just drew a game against Vincent in the 9th round. It was a very, very short game. Can you take us through what happened and why did you decide to do that?
Well, I didn't really decide. It's just Vincent found this great move, Queen d5, and then I was on the back foot, and I decided to go for to allow the queen exchange and to develop my pieces. I don't know if it was the right decision, but I didn't like my position already, and then once the queens are exchanged, really everything is symmetrical and really easy to play.
Did you see the position because you were playing with white this time? So did you, like, before coming to the game, did you have anything in mind, like, but very open to either a win or a draw before coming to this game?
Oh no, I knew the tie works. I knew I needed a win most likely, but sometimes what you need is not what you get, and draw is still fine.
Did you see Magnus's position? I mean, he was in a better position, so if he wins, I think you'll be in third. So
yeah, okay. I mean, I'll let him play and we'll see what happens.
And how happy are you with your performance now the tournament is over?
Yeah, I was a bit skeptical with my shape before the event started. I even played before the first game, I played the blitz match with Param, and I think I made one draw out of 6 games. So it was blitz, but I felt very shaky in terms of calculation. And somehow, I mean, the first game was actually terribly difficult. And then since then I found my rhythm, and I actually played some very good games.
Did you have any favorite position from this tournament at all?
It was fun to experiment this mirror match. And actually round 1 and 3 we also had a mirror match. So yeah, it was all good fun, and the only thing is that today both positions were looking very difficult with black, but luckily I won the first one with black. So
thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us. We were actually very impressed. We also have Soumya here with us, and we were following your tournament very closely. What were your first impressions from this event?
Yeah, it's been a great event. Also, atmosphere is amazing, and playing on that stage is still also kind of nostalgic for me, of course. But it's a really special place, and playing well here also means a lot to me.
I think one of the breakthroughs that you brought was during this event when you were playing the Open, and then you won that event, and now after that you were on 6 out of 6. Were you thinking at some point that thought cross your mind that maybe I can do 9 out of 9?
Not really. I mean, the first 6 games, they were tough, but I didn't yet face that many elite players. Basically, only 27 plus was Hans. So, of course, I knew that if I was going to win, probably like Nepo, Magnus, and so on, they are waiting. So it's never easy. But I mean, my main focus was to continue playing well, because the first 3 rounds I played great openings, but then were very shaky later on. So, I tried to kind of switch it off, which worked quite well. And then, I tried to just keep playing well, but today morning I missed, of course, a great chance. So winning that game would have took part of pressure off, but I didn't. So it was kind of tough to recover in that break. But I feel like I kind of managed. It's one of those things that you cannot really learn how to do. You just have to get used to it and find your way of dealing with it. And I think it was a short but very intense and high level game.
Actually, in the morning game that you played, me and Soumya both thought that this was one of the best games that you have played, especially because also you were so accurate to play King F2, King G3, and in the right time you were able to push E5, E6. Of course, you missed the win, but overall I think the game quality was exceptionally high, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe also the reason why it hurt so much that I didn't cover it, right? Because it's not like I played a bad game, I just kind of threw it away in that one moment. So that's kind of annoying, but yeah, what can you do?
And then today in the last round, you were playing against MVL. What was your, you knew you will play him because MVL won, so it was clear you will get paired. Did you have some match strategy
Not
coming
really.
into the game?
I mean, I'm black against a great player, and also the starting position was very dangerous.
Yeah.
So I first had to fully focus on kind of being okay. Of course, if I get presented with a chance, I might try to take it, but clearly first focus was being solid and trying to neutralize the initiative that was there right from the start, which I think I managed quite well. And of course, it also helped me that Sarana made a quick draw, because his tiebreaks were actually much better than MVL's. And of course, it can still happen. It's Buchholz, so if too many of my opponents lose, things can still go wrong. But I think I have a decent chance.
And actually, Soumya, if you can go to the final position of this game, was it MVL who played Bishop takes G7 and offered a draw?
Yes.
And I guess you only white. Probably you felt that only white can play for a win, or?
Yeah, I mean, the position is symmetrical. I still have the issue to solve with my donate, and I think in the best case I'm solving that issue, that it will be fully symmetrical. But I don't really see the upside potential for me here.
Mm-hmm. So you agreed to a draw, and then you have 7.5 out of 9. You guarantee yourself a first, joint shared position, and even if Magnus wins, I think the spot to the Freestyle World Championship will be confirmed, right? Because
it's between me and MVL, so he can
I
also get it. But my tiebreaks were better before the round. But again, it's Buchholz, so he also said that he had this experience in Qatar, where he was 3 Buchholz up compared to Notebreak, and then after the round he was 2 or 3 behind. So things can happen, but chances are quite good, I guess.
And if you have a few minutes, do you want to take a look at the game of Magnus?
Okay.
Harshit, I wanted to also ask a couple of questions to Vincent. First of all, Vincent, what did you think of the starting position today? Because in some of the games, we felt that Black got a bad position from the opening itself because of the knight on A8 being stuck after the pawn push to F4 and the Black's response of B6. So what were your thoughts when you got this position in the beginning?
Yeah, it's very unpleasant. Clearly one of the more dangerous positions for Black. Already in the first move you have big issues, like knight b6 is a bad move because the knight is badly placed on b6 and the a7 remains weak, and b6 kind of kills your knight. So you have to choose between 2 bad options. So of course for engines nothing is ever so bad, but also practically it's much easier to play for white. And that's why also, my feeling was that b6 should be the right move, so I played that quite quickly. But then, of course, once things start to get, kind of concrete, you have to calculate a lot, and I also spent a lot of time. And it was, I was, of course, very unhappy with the starting position because it's very easy to get into trouble here, but I think I managed to kind of neutralize the initiative.
Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to ask you, yeah, I know it took you a lot of time to recover from the morning game, but I just wanted to quickly go through it once, if you don't mind, because I was very keen to know what is it that you missed in your calculation, because it was not that clear to us. You played an excellent game, and this whole idea with the king f2, king g3 maneuver was in fact stunning. So what is it that you perhaps missed?
Well, that's the thing, I basically didn't miss anything because I didn't calculate rook g5. If I calculate rook g5, I will realize within 10 seconds that it's mate. That's what's also kind of annoying me, right? Because I know that if I even start thinking about the move, I will immediately realize that I'm winning. It's just, for me, somehow ef7 was automatic, and that's of course something that shouldn't happen, but it did. So yeah, I mean, it's not a calculation mistake because I didn't even calculate it. That was the whole mistake. Here, of course, king g7, f6, it's not, I mean, yes, it's one move you have to see, but I think on our level, usually that shouldn't be an issue.
So it was an issue of candidate moves rather than, yes.
Yeah, it was a combination because I was low on time, I wanted to make one move quickly, and I also felt I had chances here, because I missed it after rook h6, this queen c3 move is kind of perpetual on the spot.
Okay, thank you. So maybe we can go to Magnus's game now of the day.
It looked like he has a good position, but actually Aryan is fighting very well.
Last moves b5, 97, 96 were very good, and already the commentary already mentioned that now that was very good streak of moves. Also, he's still up a bit on the clock, and now you know, he got some counterplay. He was in a difficult position, but now will be interesting to see how Magnus reacts, and he's a big fighter, so he has some chances.
And actually, Vincent, in the starting position, even Magnus said that you are someone, you know, that he loves to see what you are doing in the opening, because he really respects you in this format. What is it about this format, and what is it about like your style of thinking that makes you come up with these creative ideas?
No idea. That's a simple answer. I have absolutely no idea. It's yeah, unclear to me. I guess it's, I mean, basically it's about understanding if you have a similar position to starting position, what changes and how does that affect the normal openings. So you have to kind of compare, and if you have something random like today, you have to of course have kind of a vision of where pieces belong, which kind of structures are suddenly good or bad, and also sometimes center kind of shifts depending on where the pieces are. So, but I do not understand how my thinking process is different to the one of others, but of course it seems to be. I guess it's the same as in normal chess, but I mean, I don't really know. But I also have a feeling that usually I have a quite good idea of what's going on in the opening.
So, when you get the starting position, do you first spend time to understand how similar it is to normal chess, or do you just treat it like its own position in itself? Like
usually always see it as very different, but it changes if the position is very similar to the starting position.
Like the kings being interchanged.
Yeah, for example, yeah. Or also once we had like only knight and rook changed or something, then of course you can compare, but usually you have to treat it as a completely new position.
Vincent, we are so thankful for you to join us. I have one, two more questions. What's next for you in your calendar? Where will people see you playing next?
I'll play the ChessCom Open as part of EWC qualification, and I mean the next big classical event for me will likely be the Grand Chess Tour in Bucharest.
The Grand Chess Tour.
So, and then directly from there Norway Chess. So those are of course two very big events coming up, and I will spend my time now preparing for those, getting ready, relaxing a little, because this will take a lot of energy as well.
And are you going to take the next week to just relax and follow the candidates?
Maybe, but I guess training never stops.
Training. Vincent, thanks a lot. Yes, Soumya.
I had one final question. You were talking about your freestyle understanding. Do you usually spend a lot of time on freestyle chess, Vincent, in your training?
I never did.
Oh, never did?
No,
never.
Really? I checked 4 or 5 games from the St. Louis Chess 9 LX games before the first edition of Weissenhaus in 2023. 4? I don't know if it was 24. and that has been my whole freestyle preparation I've done in the past years. So yeah, that's it.
Wow, it's amazing to know that your usual training helps you play so well in these tournaments as well. Thank you, Vincent, for joining us. It's such a pleasure.
Yes, and also congrats. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Steve has asked me to get you guys to help us capture one photo. So on my count of three, please raise your hands in the air and make some noise. 1, 2, 3. More. Once more. 1, 2, 3.
Hi everyone, I have with me Peter Leko here at the Grenke. Peter, how was your experience? You were the official commentator here. How was your experience, commentating 2 rounds daily?
Yes, I already have experience, of course, from last year. Yeah, I know what's awaiting me. It's extremely intensive. It's very tough, but very enjoyable. Non-stop action, incredible effort by the players. The organizers are doing amazing job here at Grenke Chess Festival, creating this atmosphere. Yeah, with almost 4,000 players. The synergy, you just want to be part of it. And covering freestyle chess, when you are always, right from the starting position involved, that you are in the middle of the process, that how do you think, what are the first moves, what are the problems, what are the players confronted with, and they have to make a decision. For me as a commentator, it's very easy because I'm kind of speculating. I can take the moves back if I don't like something, but the players not. They don't have this luxury. An incredible event, and of course I'm very, very happy and relieved that after this amazing start and run that Vincent had, he managed to pull it off and win the event, because we know it's never easy till it's over.
Can you tell us a bit about your student Vincent, who played and also won the tournament? It's as you mentioned, Magnus had won it last year with 9 out of 9, and Vincent played exceptionally well. So can you tell us a bit about his play here?
Yeah, well, it was fantastic, but as every big success has its critical moments. Yeah, for example, we have been doing the live commentary on his game in the 3rd round against Georg Mayer, when he played a fantastic game. He was much better throughout the game, but he couldn't finish it off. Then in time trouble, Georg Mayer put up some incredible defense. There was no way to break it. Then Vincent tried everything desperately, and I'm doing the comment and I feel like by doing this he might lose the game, and this is exactly what happened. He has overpressed, and there was a moment when the bar just said that that's it, finish. But luckily the situation was completely out of control. It was also very difficult for Georg to find the right move, and he made a mistake, and after that suddenly by miracle Vincent not only had a draw but even had a win. And that was the turning point, because when you play such a great game and then you suddenly in tragical way you lose, it has the potential to ruin your tournament. That was the reason why, if anyone checks the broadcast, they understands why I was so emotional. Because I understood that actually Vincent is a great ship, he's looking forward to the tournament, he played a brilliant game, and then if he loses that, then that's it, there is probably no way back. After that, I think he also calmed down, that he had a very good day. He won against Murzin in a very good fashion with black, then he also beat Vachier-Lagrave in a very good game with white, and then we are already talking about being 5 out of 5. Then you carry the momentum, you have the confidence and everything, and then he faced Hans Niemann, who was also 5 out of 5, and it was a very tricky situation because the position was very dry. Exactly, it was such a starting position that Vincent was able to neutralize Niemann, and of course Nima wanted to do something, but actually he had no chance to do anything, and then fell into a trap, a devilish trap, after which Vincent just wins the game.
Is something happening with my camera?
And then basically after the devilish trick that Nima missed, there was no way back. Vincent wins that game. He's suddenly 6 out of 6, and was clear that he faces Magnus Carlsen. And also, if you face Magnus Carlsen, which is inevitable in this tournament, then it is, I think, very important to have the white pieces. Yeah, that gives you more safety, and also it creates some pressure on Magnus also that he needs to stop Vincent. But how much risk he takes, how he approaches the game. But actually, one has to say that in the very early stage, in a symmetrical position, Magnus out-tricked Vincent. Yeah, that he got a promising position. I was suddenly very worried. But then Magnus had a lot of options, different options, and he played a move which turned out to be very unfortunate. And Vincent very quickly got the upper hand and was putting pressure. But then Magnus escaped at the end. I was very worried that because things are turning, not that suddenly Magnus from a very difficult position even might get winning chances. But Vincent in a time trouble played extremely well, shut the game down mercilessly, and the tournament situation was great, 6.5 out of 7, but nothing is decided yet, 2 more rounds to go. Then today in the early morning game against Sarana, he was so close to winning. It was completely winning, but the clock ticked down, and there was a shocker moment when it felt like it's already over. Suddenly there was a resource for Sarana, and he believed because of the shock and being down to 1 minute on the clock, he believed his opponent that there is this defense, which actually, if he just thinks, if he pauses for 2 seconds and thinks without being under the shock, under the stress, making the move, then he immediately sees that there is actually a force made. And under the stress he missed, there was a perpetual check, and the tournament was wide open before the final round. But then against Vachier-Lagrave, he found this queen d5 move, this sensational queen d5 move. I just couldn't believe my eyes when this move was played, like, what is this move? And then it seemed to have worked, and it also had such an impact on MVL that he was very disappointed. They traded queens, and then Maxime just offered the draw, which gave the feeling like Vincent will achieve his main goal of qualifying for next year's Freestyles FIDE World Chess Championship, and that was the main goal. If Magnus wins his game and maybe out tie breaks him, or how to call it, if he gets a better tie break, because tie breaks are very close. We even don't know, up till this moment, I don't know if actually between Magnus and Vincent, how the tiebreaks would have played out, if that would have mattered. But Magnus already qualified, so he's not taking Vincent's spot. So I was actually quite calm and very happy once I knew that we have the draw in the pocket. We also had Maxime and Vincent in our studio. We had a lot of fun discussing so many topics, and here we are. Finally, Vincent is the official winner, and I cannot be more happy.
Do you have a favorite moment from the whole tournament?
There were so many. Actually, there were also scary moments. For example, when I saw and I looked that Vincent looks up at the screen and he gets black when the black king is on d8 and queen was on e8, I thought, oh no, because this position actually can be maybe lost. It's a very unpleasant position. That was a big scare. That was a huge moment. But otherwise, singling out one single moment, it's basically impossible. It's more like I worry more. So when Magnus turned the game around, then he got a safe position, and then I understood that actually it is Vincent who is in a danger, and he has to prove and play very well. And it's never easy when you were the one calling the shots and you think like I might win or maybe draw in the worst case, and suddenly you have to be precise and the clock is ticking down. But that he mastered that, I think that was the absolute critical moment.
If you had to summarize the whole tournament in one word, what would that be?
Amazing.
Amazing. Yes. Thank you so much, Peter Leko. It was amazing watching your commentary, and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.